Hey fam, how's it going? Welcome to class. Welcome to your daily stretch. If you've been having a tough time leaning forward, trying to touch your toes, well, don't worry about it, right? This is one of the practices that's going to help you lean down because people always say, like, I can't do yoga, I can't even touch my toes. Maybe you can. But again, there's no need to touch your toes. This is just a nice way to kind of stretch into the hamstrings and give you some more space to play with. And over time, it just gets better. It's just one of those practices that helps you feel a new connection from your feet all the way up to the top of your head. So, first things first, grab a set of blocks, books, anything that you can step on to give you a little bit of leverage. This is how I like to stretch almost every morning. So, notice how that feels. So, before we do anything with the blocks, or the bolsters, take your hands on your knees, bend down, and lean into any capacity. Some of you see my knees are bent, my legs are bent, and I'm trying to get my stomach to my legs. And catch your ankles and maybe look up and then use the hands to pull you down. And then maybe you look up, bending the knees, exhaling as you pull down. Now, here's the trick. When I'm pulling myself down, I'm activating my toes and then stretching down, right? So I'm not going passively. The toes are gripping like fingers into the ground as I pull myself down. And then as I look up, I try and I try to straighten my back to the best of my ability. So my knees are bent. And then I catch my legs and I pull down. Knees are bent as I look up. And I pull down. So this is a really nice way to floss the ankles, to wake the legs up. Maybe your legs are talking to you as well. So take a few moments for you. Take a few moments to breathe, to stretch, to open up new territory. Keep the toes active. And when you come all the way down, try and press the heels into the ground. And when you press the heels into the ground, you notice your bum start to go back. So add this motion into it. So pressing the toes in, pressing the heels in, pushing the bum back. And as you come forward, press the toes forward and then come back. And just fall into it. Notice if you have a bounce or two. If you can hold the hands, hold the legs and bounce up and down. And then bend the knees, roll up your spine, open the chest. As you can see or feel, the toes and the heels have to be awake. So my toes are like fingers gripping into the ground, the heels are pressing into the ground. So I'm not going in passive. This is an active stretch. And this is something that really helps me kind of feel into the ground, feel into my space. And I'm able to open up the hamstrings a bit more. When I open my chest up, I'm touching my chest to my quads. It's something that just takes time, you know. It also depends on your mobility. It also depends on how much space your body can kind of work out. So don't be in a rush. Take your time with it. Now get your blocks, get the blocks, place them to, some place that feels good. Step onto them. Maybe your books, blocks, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And here, try and grip the blocks with your toes. Let me show you at an angle. All right. So I'm gripping the blocks with my toes in a very interesting way. So that activates my toes and my heels can press into the ground. Now my knees are bent and I go down. So my toes are active. They're pulling against the front of the blocks, and that's giving me an activation in the back of my hamstring as I lean in. So my knees are still bent. You want to feel that activation, that same idea that we were holding the feet. Maybe your fingertips go down. So don't be in a rush to straighten your feet. Push your hips back, press the heels down, keep your toes active. So you're pressing the toes, pressing the heels, pushing the hip back, and breathe. So go a little left, straightening one leg, or right, straightening the other, but just keep the toes active as possible. Keep the toes in a space that they control and hold into the ground. And you'll slowly start to find yourself going deeper and deeper, maybe. And now try and straighten the hamstrings and loosen it, but the toes are active, so the hips are pushing back. You're straightening, loosening, straightening and loosening. Pushing the hips back, taking the hands forward. Maybe the hands come all the way down. Maybe they don't. Maybe you're still somewhere here. It's okay, Like maybe you're somewhere here. It doesn't matter, okay? It all depends on activating the toes. If the toes are active, you definitely will find more territory to move into. So keep the toes pulling, bounce around, move a little left, a little right, and then come back up. So now here's another idea. If you have more blocks, if you have something additional added on, the idea is the same. You want to grip the toes, you want to press the heels down. I don't have more blocks over here, but I'm just going to flip my blocks to the side. You do not have to do this. I'm just giving you an idea because I have a sense of balance that helps. I do this like almost every day. I do it on the higher ones as well. So please don't imitate this. This is just a reference point. My idea that I'm trying to share with you is as you increase the height and as you come down, you can try with whatever you have, stack a few books. And when you have a target, like for example, now I have a few inches on the blocks and I have a target to reach, the body starts to activate. So I'm pulling my toes a bit harder, you're pressing your tailbone back, and I'm bouncing. So my target is getting further and further away, and that gives me something to work towards. So you're bouncing and you're moving, finding that stretch. You can even, if your fingers do touch something, you can move a little left, a little right. Move around. So the idea is the same. The toes are gripping, the heels are pressing, and you're moving. You're opening up space in your hamstrings. You're breathing. And then just notice where you end up. Maybe your fingers touch the ground. Maybe you're somewhere here. It's totally fine. As always, it's totally okay. You're just keeping the toes active. You're pressing back. You're creating that space. Notice where you end up today. Find a breath. And then bend the knees and roll up the spine. Oh, recenter. Maybe the hamstrings are talking to you, right? Maybe you find something interesting. I said a lot of maybes because everyone's body is so different. What I might feel might be different compared to what you feel today. So take your time with it. This is a really interesting stretch. This one's a little different compared to the usual ones that I do. However, this is a bit more exploratory, and I'm going to leave this up to you to test and play and, explore space that calls out to you today. So, I hope you found something new in your hamstrings. Just like anything in life, you do this every day, you come back to it every day. It's a short class. Come back to it, stretch into it, and you'll notice yourself going deeper and deeper and deeper. And then, sky's the limit. Maybe you do some yoga, maybe you do something else. And this is a wonderful class to share with anyone who has super tight hamstrings, which is 90% of my friends. So share it across to someone who needs it, and maybe you can teach them the techniques from this video as well. And both of y'all, have open hamstrings. So thank you so much for allowing me to share my practice with you. Let me know how it goes in the comments. How did you feel? Did you find a sense of opening? Or are you still tight? It doesn't matter. It's all good. Let me know how it goes. Thanks for practicing. My name is Varun. Peace.